Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to welcome you to today's Visit NC webinar. I'm Marlise Taylor, Director of Research for Visit North Carolina, and am happy to be here with you today. Today on the webinar, Allison Schultz is going to provide you an update on the Count on Me NC campaign, and then we will have Guy Gaster present you a brief film office update. Just a reminder that we will have this presentation recorded and it will be available on our partners page, which is partners.visitnc.com. But first, let me take a cue from Whit and start off with just a little bit of research for you. As the daily cases of the coronavirus surge, Americans' concerns are increasing as well. This is very new data we just got from Destination Analyst yesterday. 60% of American travelers believe that the pandemic will get worse in the next month, while only 14% feel that it will get better. This is definitely affecting travel plans. Travelers who note high excitement level for upcoming travel fell 7 percentage points this week, so a really big drop from last week. And about 60% say that they wouldn't be able to fully enjoy travel right now. The sentiment is certainly going to affect holiday travel as well. When asked this week about upcoming travel, only 30% say that they have plans for holiday travel this season. Specifically, those who do plan to travel for Christmas, followed by Thanksgiving. Though you could see from this chart the drastic differences from 2019 holiday travel. Overall, holiday season travel is expected to be about 58% less than last year. The good news, though, is the announcement from Pfizer about the expected effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine. More than 60% of travelers nationwide say that the vaccine will go a long way in making them more comfortable in traveling and more optimistic that travel can be done safely. And then with regards to traveling safely, in our last resident sentiment survey that we just got results from, we asked residents about their awareness on the Count on Me NC campaign. Again, this was fielded in mid-September, so it's been a month or so. But in mid-September, when the survey was fielded, 21% of North Carolina residents told us that they were aware of the campaign. And awareness was slightly higher among coastal residents than Piedmont and Mountains. We are actually going to be fielding wave 3 of this survey the week after Thanksgiving, and then we'll be able to view any changes in awareness at that time. Of those who did tell us that they were aware of the campaign, TV rated the highest method of awareness, with 39% of those who are aware, followed by online ads, radio, and online video. And Allison's going to give you a lot more information on these. While residents feel that the Count on Me NC campaign is effective in a variety of ways, you can see that providing assurance that health safety precautions are being implemented in the state rated highest, followed by teaching them about health safety protocols that they should use when traveling in state. Now I'm going to turn it over to Allison, who will give you more details on the campaign, but just wanted to give you, if you don't have it, my name and my email address, so please contact me if you do have any questions about the research. I'm going to turn it over to Allison now.
Thank you so much, Marlise. You know, we are really encouraged by the resident sentiment survey that was done back in September that Marlise shared with you this morning, especially seeing that in that second wave, we only really had our campaign out in market for a couple of months. And given the nature of how we are deploying, that it has been in a rollout nature, it was great to see those results. And so when the third wave is done late this month, it will be exciting to see just how much that awareness has grown. What I wanted to share with you today, we can go ahead and go to the next slide, is some additional updates on Count on Me NC and the key performance indicators that we are measuring to really show how successful we are at awareness and effectiveness as we deploy that media. So on the next slide, I just wanted to remind the audience today what those media parameters were when we deployed the campaign back in July. The objective, of course, is to promote North Carolina as a safe destination for our residents, in addition to those bold travelers, on-the-go travelers in our contiguous markets, which includes Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, and Eastern Tennessee. To remind you also, about 80% of our media is being deployed in state, and then 20% in the contiguous states. And on this slide, I just wanted to share our strategy for our paid media. Many of these items you see here in terms of the high touch distribution channels that we are utilizing, you will see in our marketing when we're out there on inspiration. I think a few things to point out that certainly has been new with Count on Me and See is the level to which we have utilized audio, since jingle is really one of our key components of the campaign to generate that awareness. We've also done the bathroom signage, which has been very effective, as well as our SoundCloud contest and the brand partnerships that have been very new to help us really drive that message home to fans and followers through influencers. So on the next slide, just to share a little, remind you again of what we are going to be looking at with our rolling media launch. The results that I'm sharing with you today actually go through October 31st. I think, as I mentioned about a month ago, all of our media has been fully deployed at this point. And so we're really seeing you know, our efforts perform really above industry standards. So on the next slide, I'll share some of that with you. All right, there we go. Paid digital media. So the tactics here is that we wanted to make sure that we had high volume of in-state ears and in-state eyes. And then in those contiguous markets, we were really pushing out our video, our animated video. So if you look at the bottom here on this particular slide, from when we first launched on July 7th through where we are through the end of October, we have nearly generated 154 million impressions across all of our tactics. Another thing that I'm really excited about is that we have nearly 56 million of completed video views. So this is whether the video was 60 seconds, 30 seconds, or shorter in length, we're seeing great engagement with that video. And then the total clicks, which is driving to countonmeandc.org, we have nearly 266,000 by the end of October, those clicks across all of our tactics. So on the next slide, I thought I'd break it down a little bit for you so you could see how we are performing overall. Audio, we've generated nearly 37 million impressions with our video, against nearly 64 million, and then the completed view rate, you can see here on the right, is 73%. Connected TV is performing very well with a 96% completion rate for our video. And then display and mobile, again, performing way above industry standard, which generally is 0.08. We're seeing well over that. So on the next slide, as you know, I wanted to share a little bit the breakdown between English and Spanish on how we're performing there. You can see that really more than 80% of all of our impressions are to an English-speaking audience, and then we have anywhere from 12 to 17% that's being delivered and generated through our Spanish creative. So on the next slide, I wanted to talk a little bit about our digital home and how we have done there. You know, I'm sure all of you have seen and have utilized the digital boards out of home. We have over 72 million impressions there. I mentioned the bathroom advertising earlier. We're in 282 venues, of which 265 are unique restaurants. And then with our transit, we just wrapped that up this month, but we were in Charlotte, along with the epicenter, where we still have those digital and pedestrian boards in play. But with our transit, we launched at the end of September. We went through the 8th of November, and we had a really creative execution with the campaign, in that we worked with an artist, a graffiti artist in Charlotte, who was able to just recreate that mystic mystery of how they do their art in the night and it appears. So Switch was that artist, and he put his name actually on the badge. And so we think this is a great execution for us to get that message out. So on the next slide, just to kind of give you an idea of where we are as of the end of last week, out of all the media that we have deployed, 28% of that has been across television. You'll see that grow as we end the campaign on December 30th, utilizing those funds through the CARES Act. You know, connected TVs, 11%, video overall is 13%, audio 18%, and then you see out of home at 18% as well too, and then print coming in around 7%. So these numbers will grow, but we are going to end the campaign with a bigger push on cable and TV to really hit those premium television shows, so we can get our message out there. PR has been huge in our efforts. You know, when Marlise mentioned earlier about out of that 21% of North Carolinians who were sampled, that they had awareness of Count on Me and See, you saw that 39% of those people indicated it was television. I would point to PR being a part of that success. When we launched the overall campaign back in May, we had a lot of statewide coverage, and our PR team has been very involved since the campaign inception to ensure that this message is amplified. And you can see here, you know, reminding you, we presented several months ago that Afar came in and talked about it as being a real standout campaign in our industry, travel and leisure, in addition to other secured coverage that you see here on the right. Visit North Carolina's team has generated more than 22.5 million impressions for Count on Me and See. And then the other aspect of that, when you look at the overall impressions, it's about 1.5 billion. So we're really encouraged by the success that we have in getting the word out for this public safety message. So on the next slide, I wanted to talk a little bit about brand partnerships with you. I think the last time that I presented about a month ago, I shared with you that we were working with a number of brands that are endemic to North Carolina to really push our message out. And part of our strategy around that was our television broadcast schedule, where we have high profile spots in, you got the Primetime Emmy Awards, college football, the NBA Finals, NFL football, and also in NASCAR, to really dig in a little deeper and try to get in front of audiences who may be a little bit more resistant in following those 3 W's. So on the next slide, I wanted to share an update on, you know, what we did in NASCAR in the middle of October. As you know, at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we had both the Xfinity race and the Cup race take place. We partnered with Richard Petty Motorsports as well as Greg Galding to get our message out there very successfully. And then we also worked with Richard Petty's grandson, Thad Moffitt, through the ARCA series as well when he raced in Tennessee. So all of these drivers came out in a really big way. They took the pledge, they wore the mask, they did a number of posts for us that performed very well in encouraging their fans and followers to follow the 3 W's and to take the pledge as well. With Richard Petty, it was wonderful. We have the ability to use his likeness through the end of the year. We have about 3 hours of video footage that we have captured with him. Hopefully you have seen some of those executions that Visit North Carolina has pushed out on Instagram and Twitter. We'll certainly, at the end of the campaign for Count on Me and See, we'll put together a good social recap and bring in Nick to help share those results results with you. You know, Sunny has been such a big brand ambassador for us. You can even see here that Richard Petty allowed us to do Sunny in his likeness, and we have been sharing that across to NASCAR fans that the season just ended up recently. So let's go on to some of the other brand partnerships that we are doing. All right, the Atlantic Coast Conference is a big deal. We have a number of spots, television spots running around college football. You know, we scored really big back this summer when we had Coach K and Roy Williams come together, two big legendary rivals in North Carolina, teaming up and being on the same team. We were able to push that message out in 2 pages in our state back in August. Well, as we are, you know, teeing up for the tip-off for the basketball season, we're running that ad unit again in our state in November, as well as in NC Business in December, because we know what great ambassadors these two coaches are for us. In addition to the fact that, you know, NC State Extension has been hugely involved with Count on Me NC in providing the training, we wanted to work with NC State, Duke, and UNC. So we put a schedule together that would complement as well that television buy. And this is digital and social that we are working with the teams, and you can see some of the executions here across social, but we are going to be doing email blasts where we can really have another high touch point with students who have shown to be more resistant to the 3 Ws, as well as other fans on the importance of Count on Me NC in growing that awareness. So on the next slide, here's another NASCAR face that you might recognize, and it is Rowdy Bush. And Kyle Busch last year launched a new company, Rowdy Energy Drink. And we have partnered with him as well as Camping World and Gander RV to do a big giveaway. Now, Kyle is going to be involved with Count on Me NC to some degree, so I've included this, but he's really engaged with us on another initiative, Outdoor NC, about the stewardship of keeping North Carolina beautiful and protecting it for generations to come. So we have this North Carolina Enter to Win a Rowdy road trip, and to date we have over 14,000 people who have entered that contest, which we are not only promoting across social, and Rowdy and his team are doing this, and Kyle, but we've got Camping World and Gander RV. In addition to that, we have these displays inside Camping World and Gander RV. There's well over 200 stores nationwide, so when people go in, they're able to see this signage on the windows and then the display case around where you can buy Rowdy Energy Drink. All right, on the next slide, I wanted to share another event that we are putting sponsorship dollars behind, and that is Speedway Christmas. We're anticipating close to 40,000 vehicles going through there in the next couple of months, and it is already launched. We are the presenting sponsor in our particular category. There's going to be like 4 miles of lights. It's one of the most COVID safe activities that you can engage in. It's an opportunity also for us to distribute 2020 visitor guides, our travel guides. So if you advertised in 2020, we want to make sure that we can get those into the hands of all the people who go through there. So each car will receive a travel guide and will receive it in a branded Count on Me NC bag. In addition to our sponsorship, we will get 1,000 tickets, and we are working to create a PR event around that, where we can thank frontline workers, healthcare workers in North Carolina for the hard work that they have been doing on our behalf to keep North Carolina safe and try to mitigate the risk of COVID. So we're gonna do a big promotion on that with the Charlotte Motor Speedway as well. You know, you can see a lot here that we have a big presence in Charlotte. We know that Charlotte has been heavily impacted by COVID since the pandemic started. So it's important for us to be there and be in this urban area. We're also looking to close a deal here this week with Night of Lights in Raleigh, who has also been affected, and we're working to be able to distribute distribute visitors guides, the travel guides, in addition to some other activations as well. So you will see more of that. Then in the bottom right-hand corner, if you can go, yeah, thank you so much, Guy. You'll also see that the Speedway has movie nights. And we're also getting some branding there as well for Count on Me and See for those Christmas themed movies that are showing through the course of this activation. So on the next slide, I wanted to jump in on holiday, and I wanted to let you know that we have a number of executions and creative for you in the partner toolkit, which you can go to. So if you haven't been there recently, please go check out some of the new creative that that you'll find. Here you can see some of the seasonal banner ads. This is around fall. You know, we've seen Sunny at the beach, so it's now we were going to see him out there hiking. Show your true fall colors, wear a mask, visit North Carolina safely, and you just see the various banner ads that you can utilize across your digital platforms should you choose. And on the next slide, I wanted to get into a little bit more of Christmas. And you're going to see us changing out our creative where it is spread holiday cheer, not the virus. So you'll see us changing that creative out through now and the end of Christmas. So I hope that you'll check the partner toolkit, which is on the partner page of our website, partners.visitnc.com. Go to our toolkit there and get some of the new creative. So that's my presentation today, my update for Count on Me NC. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or email me, and I know we'll have some questions, time for questions at the end. I'd like to turn it over now to Guy Gaster, who directs our film initiatives for North Carolina, and I think he has a real lively, wonderful update on some film activity that's taking place in the state. Guy?
Awesome, thank you, Allison. Appreciate the chance to join everyone and hope everyone is doing well. Allison mentioned a little bit of the holiday films that are showing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And while we might not have some of the North Carolina specific films that have recently shot there showing, we certainly do have a chance to be front and center of a number of audiences here in the month of November. So we'll kind of go in to that information. First up, there are 2 North Carolina filmed holiday movies that will be released through Hallmark and its various platforms. The first one will debut on November 21st at 8 p.m. on the Hallmark channel, and it is A Nashville Christmas Carol. Our very own Charlotte, the Queen City, filled in quite nicely for the city of Nashville. Those of you who are Hallmark holiday movie fans may recall Charlotte also filled in for New York City last year with a project. So, you know, we would love to help spread the North Carolina name, but, you know, we'll take it as we can with this. But Nashville Christmas Carol taking place or debuting on the Hallmark channel November 21st. The second project will air on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel, and that is USS Christmas. It debuts on November 28th at 10 p.m. And this shot in the Wilmington area, and there's a lot of footage that took place on Battleship North Carolina. And this project also, you will see both North Carolina and South Carolina fight, if you will, over rights. They did go to the USS Yorktown in South Carolina for some filming as well. But we're, again, excited to have these 2 projects part of Hallmark's holiday lineup. And those of you who do follow closely, you probably are scratching your head going, wait, didn't you just talk about these movies filming in September and October? And you're absolutely correct. These projects got fast-tracked, and the crew worked tirelessly to be able to have these ready for this year's holiday movie run. Other features that are that will be available or are currently available is the feature film Words on Bathroom Walls. It had a limited theatrical release, even though COVID-19 limited the number of theaters, but it is now available on demand. And this is a really good story based on a popular youth adult book with it. So it was great to have that project. It actually filmed about 3 years ago in the state. And then coming up on Thanksgiving weekend with Amazon Prime Video is the independent feature Uncle Frank, which was a key targeted project for the film office. Excited to see this. You may recall this project premiered at the prestigious Sundance Film Festival this past January, and Amazon Prime got it for distribution, and again are doing a key release of the project here Thanksgiving weekend. It's also in a little bit of their promotion on people joining Amazon Prime right now. Features are not the only place where you can see North Carolina this month. There are 4 television series that have shot in the state that are all airing right now. 3 of them, in fact, I do want to iterate this. We talk a lot about the film rebate program and its key to productions, but not all productions qualify for this, and that does not stop productions from coming if they don't. So we've got 3 lifestyle series that are all airing right now. Love It or List It, which films in the Triangle region, Mondays at 9 p.m. My Big Fat Fabulous Life with Whitney Thorne, who's from the Piedmont Triad area, but this show has started to travel throughout the state and showcase those travels. So you can catch it Tuesdays at 9. A great one that I hope will lead to larger numbers of visitors is Secrets of the Zoo, North Carolina. And this is on Nat Geo Wild, and it airs Saturday nights, and it gives a true behind the scenes look at the North Carolina Zoo. It is a great show. I know it comes on a little late, but you can also, it re-airs throughout the week, and you can check out episodes online. And then, as we previously mentioned, Swamp Thing got a second life. This was a series that was originally for the DC Universe streaming platform, but due to COVID-19 shifting some of the schedules that broadcast networks had, it's now airing on the CW. So there's definitely a little bit of renewed interest. Fingers would be crossed, though it's a very, very long shot that renewed interest could lead to a second season. That was not the intention of this, unfortunately, but again, happy to see it airing and that more of the work of North Carolina's talented film professionals can be seen by a wider audience. So currently we have 3 series that are still shooting in the state. Hightown, which is a project from Lionsgate for Starz. We've also got brand new seasons, or the first ever seasons of both Delilah, which is a Warner Brothers project for the Oprah Winfrey Network, as well as our newest project, This Country, which is a mockumentary project from Lionsgate Television also, and it will air next year on the Fox network. We do have 3 feature films that are starting pre-production. This means they're gearing up to be filming. Most likely the filming will take place the start of 2021 during that first quarter. And then if you've seen or heard the rumors, yes, the Scream Enterprise is back, and the latest Scream feature film is wrapping up filming here in our state with it, and looking forward to seeing that. I believe it's scheduled to come out in 2022, but that has been a great production, and we've been very successful so far. Knock on wood, we have not had any productions that have had to shut down due to COVID-19 since restarting back up. So that's been a feather in our cap as other projects are looking around. So what does this all mean? Taking a look at our yearly comparisons, right now we're projecting 2020 to have about $110 million in direct in-state spending. So despite being shut down for more than 6 months, the industry, we will have our second highest year to date since the start of the since the beginning of the grant program. Sorry, our third highest with that. Didn't mean to leave out 2016 with it. The other thing that is quite encouraging on the industry making a rebound is we actually have a number of projects that are already lined up for 2021. This is something we've not been able to say in past years. So if you take a look at what those projects can do, we will be starting off 2021 already having $65 million plus committed in the state. So I'm expecting big things in 2021 for projects. And as I said, you can see we already have more committed in for next year than 2 of our previous years during slower times. So that's a quick look at filming. We will have an update, the official year-end update once we get into January. And don't be surprised if we don't have a few announcements on new film projects that have been approved for the Film and Entertainment Grant Program. As always, if there are questions or more information you'd like to know about what's going on with filming, please don't hesitate to reach out. The best way to reach me is guy@filmnc.com. And with that, I'd like to bring Allison and Marlise back in, and happy to look at taking any questions you all might have on what has been presented today. As a reminder, you can download the entire presentation from the handouts panel on the right side of your screen. And that's also where you can enter in questions for all of us. So the first question that's come in is for you, Marlise. You had mentioned holiday travel being impacted. Has there been any further information released on approximate travel distance, those who are willing to travel, how far they're willing to travel?
I do believe that is part of the survey this week. I did not pull that for this particular presentation, but whoever has that question, if you want to email me and I can look in our destination analysts, the raw data that they send us, and I'll be happy to look that up for you. I do believe that it's a question in this week's survey though.
Okay, very good. And Marlise, also, if you could remind us, you said that the visitor sentiment study or research was probably starting the 1st of December. When roughly do you think that some of that information might be available for partners on how in-state travelers are responding?
Yeah, so we've done 2 waves of the survey. The first one was in late May around Memorial Day. The second one was in mid-September. Our third wave is going to go into field the week after Thanksgiving. So really it's going to depend a little bit on how quickly we can get our quotas filled in terms of the survey responses. But I would think certainly by the 1st of the year we would have that top line data available. Hopefully sooner, but I'm optimistic that 1st of the year is when we would really have some good resident sentiment data for you.
Very good. Allison, a question had come in for you on, is there sorry, I'm trying to paraphrase this question, but it essentially is asking, are there any additional shifts or discussions on promoting the businesses that have taken the Count on Me and See pledge as part of the advertising?
Well, as you know, countonmenc.org is where everyone lands through this campaign. So it is our call to action. And so we're driving all of this traffic to the website, where you can then search and locate these businesses who have taken part in the program. And I did not share data today on where we are in terms of total views, but I think it was like well over 300,000 web sessions, of which 255,000 are first time. So we're seeing, great execution across our tactics to countonmenc.org. One thing that has been a little bit of a heartburn for us here at Visit North Carolina is that, when we report out those unique businesses, which is what we report is under 4,000. If you look at what has those businesses that have actually gone through the training, that number is over 13,000. And then when we look at, consumers who've gone in and downloaded the badge, we have a real strong number around 14,000. Well, at NC State, that number is actually even higher, more than, I think it is 60,000. So it is a little bit of a burn for us that we can't get these businesses to take that initial step so that they can be on the Count on Me NC site. Some of the other good things to report, though, we have heard from companies like Biscuitville, who have more than 50 locations. They have all taken the training, so we're going to be showing those on the site coming up. We're also going to be talking to O'Sharley's, who wants to have involvement, and we're having discussions with Cookout too to help really grow that. But honestly, I would love to be doing more to help those restaurants and any really retail facing business who's gone through the program, who's taken that extra step to keep North Carolina safe. So if you have some thoughts and ideas there, certainly let us know. But really, all of our media is going to countonmenc.org, and that should help every one of those businesses where consumers can then, query and see the locations that they're going to be traveling, who is participating.
Yeah, and I guess follow up on that, Allison, is there something that our partners can do to encourage their businesses that are signing up? Like, you mentioned, it sounds like there's a step that maybe they're missing or not clicking on. I don't know if it's like, print out my badge or whatever, but is there something that the partners can share with their partners to make sure that they're doing?
Yeah, and I think we can put that together, and it's certainly something that Margot Metzger and I are talking about quite a bit. Margot has joined the team to help us in our PR efforts through the end of the year. She's also working really closely with NCRLA, and we're looking at ways in which we can create something to help. And the issue really comes down to privacy of data. It would be great if we could just take that information and put it over on countonmenc.org. But yeah, that's that extra step of really, I think, downloading that certificate. And we have continued to have conversations on how we can get more involvement there on the page. I think what we could do is, again, I think the challenge is providing that privacy data, but we can look at it. If we could let our destination marketing organizations across the state know who has taken it, and then if they reach out, personally to them, I'm not sure, but I think, even an update within an e-blast out to their membership saying, look, if you've not taken this final step, please do so. Because really, they're missing out on millions of dollars of paid media to promote this campaign by not being on the site.
One other one, Allison, is the process different for corporations than it is for chains in going through the Count on Me certification?
Well, I mean, I believe it is the same process, but one thing that I do believe NCRLA is doing is if you can demonstrate that you've taken the training, you know, and also that you're following other CDC guidelines. Like if you look at a flagship brand like a Marriott or a Hilton, you know, they're going through some really strong safety protocols, which I think would match in the lineup with ours. I think NCRLA is working with them to get that certification through. And if you have any questions about that, and whoever had that question, if they want to email me, either myself or Margot could be in touch to provide that additional information to help get more businesses within your communities on the site. I hope that answered the question, gave some help there.
Sure. Very good.
Hey,
Excellent.
Guy, I was able to look up that average trip length question while Allison was answering the question. And the most recent data shows that the average road trip length for travelers' next road trip to be 313 miles on average.
And Marlise, is there, and apologies for not having that or having it in advance or putting you on the spot, is there still an indication in terms of type of lodging preference on travelers, such as a Airbnb type stay versus a hotel kind of thing? Has that information been updated?
Yeah, that is in our resident sentiment. I do not have that in front of me right now. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm kind of looking through our destination analyst data here. That may take me a little bit of time. I don't think that it has changed statistically significantly, but I don't have that right in front of me. But I if anyone has that question.
Okay.
You know what?
Email.
I'll jump in on the question relating the road trips. Another thing that we did, and I apologize that I did not include that slide in today's presentation, but we do have an activation at every Circle K in the state, and there are 373 convenience stores and pumps. And so what we are doing there, we have our jingle playing, our 30-second jingle playing at gas station TV, so at every pump at Circle K. And then if you go inside the convenience store, we have digital walls in which we're going to have more than 1 million impressions where we have our Count on Me and See message. And then the walk up lift monitor. There's a 10-second video that plays as well. And I believe the impressions on those, it's nearly 6 million. So that's just another way for us to reach North Carolinians who are going to be traveling between now and the end of the year, whether it's for holiday travel. We want to make sure that they do so safely. As what we're going to be also doing through the end of the year, you're going to see this on social. We're going to have a lot of content around safe travels and holiday safe activities. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll make sure that we get some information out to the partners, either through NewsLink, so that they can keep up to date on that too.
Excellent. And Allison, one more point of clarification. If a business or an entity takes the Count on Me and See pledge, and they do get to the part where they're printing the certificate, does that mean that their information is passed along to be put on the website? Is that kind of the missing link?
I think that might be where it's breaking down.
So if they're not printing the certificate, then the information may not be passed on, and thus the business isn't listed.
And, you know, and I've gone through the process myself, and I mean, it is, you think you're done, but you're not done. And, you know, we definitely have the verbiage there for them to do that final check so that we can use them and post them on the site. And that's just where it's breaking down. And then even when we were talking with Biscuitville, they were saying that we believe all of our restaurants have in fact taken it. And I think, and we have only like 5 or 6 currently listed on countonmenc.org. And it's just, it had, you know, they haven't finished that process. Or it may also be that they're doing it in a group setting where, you know, and you can do that online as well. And that's another way that NCRLA will work specifically with a corporate group to ensure that all the restaurants across the state will appear on the site. So some of this just takes a conversation, takes a meeting, you know, answering a few questions, but I know that NCRLA and Visit North Carolina will work to get this done.
Excellent. Okay. Not going to call out the person who asked this, but it appears we do have a Hallmark movie fan, and was asked to go back over the dates of those 2 North Carolina projects that will be on the Hallmark channels. So again, that's November 21st for a Nashville Christmas Carol, and November 28th for USS Christmas. So that's back on the screen there for you. So glad to know that you're setting a DVR or making plans to watch them as they premiere with that.
And hey, Guy, you know, as you well know, what I've been doing, there are quite a few movies that have been filmed in North Carolina that you can stream right now. And it's been one of my pastimes during this pandemic. So there, you know, you can do a search and a query. You can even go to visitnc.com and get yourself a list. And, you know, there are quite a few streaming on Netflix and Amazon. And
I sometimes take it for granted on what our archive library looks like and how readily available those projects are now, thanks to these various streaming platforms and I guess movie databases, if you will, or show databases with it. It's definitely easier now to catch up than it has ever been. So. And let's see, one last question about securing images to promote the Hallmark movies. Yes, it would be through Hallmark's, through their publicity. I will say for those places that have had Hallmark features shot in their areas, they have now, each of these movies have their own website within the Hallmark web universe, if you will, that have some additional behind the scenes pictures, images, videos. Hallmark does it better than anyone when it comes to that. So that there are some things there. And we're also working with the productions on having some images available. And certainly once we get those, happy to share those with partners in which the filming took place with. So, well, ladies, I believe that takes care of the questions. So thank you for participating. To our partners, thank you as always for joining us and for your continued support. We do not have an official date yet, but it would not surprise me the least bit to think that we will probably have one more webinar before the end of 2020. So be on the lookout through NewsLink and also on partners.visitnc.com for the date and registration for that. But until then, please continue to be safe and don't hesitate to reach out and let us know if there's any way we can be of assistance. Again, hope you have a great week and we look forward to catching up with you again soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.